into ministry. But I want to start by saying that God has never called us to ministry that separates us from our families.
So what comes first, family and ministry?
Definitely what comes first is family. Because according to the Bible, Genesis chapter 2 verse 18 says, God looked and said, it's not good for a man to be alone. We did not see God first giving a man a ministry. He first gave him a wife.
Yeah.
And when a man gets a wife, that's how family starts, according to the Bible. So God gave a man a wife. And when he gets a wife, they'll get children, and a family is started. So to God, what start is the family. And get me right, I said God has not called us to ministry to separate us from our families. Yes. So what comes first is the ministry, is God, is family. I beg your pardon, it's family. So when God calls you into ministry, he calls you, but he wants you to take care of your family first, so that you are able to introduce this God to your children, to your family, to your wife, or to your husband, and they're able to receive him without them saying, this God has stolen away our family, has stolen away our father, has stolen away our mother. So God is interested in the family, and he wants us to serve him together with our families.
Dear viewers, I think we are moving at the same page. Family is important, just as ministry is important.
It's important, yes.
But as we can look at the two, we are seeing that family comes first.
Yes.
We first come from families
Yes.
before we go out to minister.
Because if your Christianity cannot work at home, then don't dare to export it. It has to start at home. No wonder you see Joshua said, me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. Me and my house. He's not saying me, I will serve the Lord, but me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. So you and your children, you and your husband, you shall serve God. Yes. So if you have received Christ first, it is incumbent on you to take your Christ that you have received to your family. But how are you going to preach this gospel? Even Apostle Paul shares with us how to do it, especially wives. How do you preach the gospel? Your character must be able to preach Christ before even you share from your mouth. So your behavior, your character, the way you carry yourself must be able to preach Christ. This Christ is Christ. Christ is love. That's how it starts. Christ is love. God is love. That love should be shared in your family. Share with your family the love of Christ. Let there be a difference from the one who has received Christ and the one who has not received Christ. So it's very easy for you to bring Christianity at home if you yourself, you have received him, and bring him at home and introduce this Christ in the home with your character, not only words, with your character, the way you live, the way you carry yourself, the way you do things. Let whatever you do portray Christ. Then you are able to share this Christ with your family. Then you are able to bring your family to serve God with you. And how beautiful it is when Christ is well represented very well. Because let me tell you, anybody can preach.
Yes.
Anybody can go out and preach. Anybody can pray. Anybody can do anything. But the people with you at home, they have a better vision of you. They have a better understanding of you. So if you can come and chase the demons and do all these things and win souls to Christ, and at home it's a different story, then God has been misrepresented.
And so it also affects these people now, the way they look at God
Definitely,
and ministry.
definitely.
Because there are also these other ministers who look at they have their own hierarchy. It is God first, then the rest come after. So
Let me
don't
say
tell
this.
me about anything if it's about
To me,
God.
this is how I do my life. God first, I am second, then my husband third, then the children fourth. Why? Most times ministers of God have said God first. And some of them, they have jumped themselves and they have rushed to children. They have rushed to other people and they have neglected themselves. It's very difficult to give what you do not have.
Yes.
You can't give the love that you do not have. First, love yourself. The Bible says, love yourself, love your neighbor as the way you love yourself. So you should love yourself equally the way you love your neighbor. So first, love yourself, appreciate of who you are.
Yeah.
When you have that love, it's very easy for you to share this love with other people. Because you love yourself, you appreciate yourself. So let's start with God, because God cannot be compared to anybody, even our children, even our husbands. So God first, then after God, yourself.
Yes.
You matter.
You matter.
You are very important. For you to have a family, you yourself should be strong and able to stand. But if you neglect yourself, you don't take care of yourself, you don't love yourself, then you can never take care of the family God has given to you.
Actually, everything after God, everything now begins with you.
Yes, begins with you.
If you're talking about family, still
yes,
family begins
with you.
If you're talking about ministry, ministry again begins with you.
Definitely, you got it right. Definitely. Then you'll be able now to share this love with everybody else and share Christ with everybody else and be able now to differentiate ministry and family. You matter, then your family comes. Comes next. Then church follows. Other people follows. The people of God follows.
Actually, in 1 Timothy, it is actually brought out so well that if you cannot manage your family,
definitely,
then there is no way why you should even come to manage church.
Yes, if you cannot manage your family, it's very difficult for you to manage God's people. So you should start with your family, yourself. Manage yourself first as a person. Be able to manage yourself. Then you can manage your family, then manage the church. Because you know the challenge is so many people have you know, ministry is very, very interesting, I would say, and also challenging. And when you are serving God and you are at that peak, things are going on well, whatever you are doing, because God give us the grace is sufficient, the grace is available. We are serving God and we are seeing things are booming. We are most times deceived by the appreciation. Because you need to understand now family comes in. Family entitlement. Let me give an example. I'm a mother.
Yes.
Definitely my children look at me as, we are entitled.
Yes.
So whatever she do, it's a man, she's supposed to do it for us. We are entitled. We are entitled to the love. Yeah. We are entitled to the time. Ministry comes, they applaud. Wow, that was good. So in most times, you feel like as a person at home, there is less appreciation. There is more demands. Okay. Ministry, in times, people just come, you minister, oh, appreciate, Pastor, you preached well. Pastor, thank you so much. You are Elijah of our time. You are our Moses. Can easily deceive you. And you start to give more of your attention, more of your time to ministry. And then neglect this other part that needs you. Because this one, children are demanding for attention. Yeah. Your wife is demanding for attention. Or maybe you are a husband, your wife is the one in ministry. The husband is also demanding for attention. And you are nowhere to be seen. You are all taken by ministry, from preaching, crusades, evangelism, all this, and all this consume time. So I would advise anybody who is in ministry, you should be able to have time management. Time management. What do I do when? Have a proper schedule. What do I do when? So that you'll be able to balance. Without that, you might fail to balance and you can easily be taken, be swallowed. But remember what I said when we started. God has not called us into ministry that will separate us from our family.